Hello Internet and welcome to Mob Theory or Mob Mentality, my new hit YouTube series that I have started currently. Today we will be covering the start of this new series. It's not going well, this intro. Anyway, let's go. Basically what I want to do is I'm a man of many theories, okay? I've got ideas on like the kids music scene in Italy and why it might be causing I don't know, some crusades in the future. How the funk scene in Brazil and my boy MC Brinquedo and MC Bin Laden. I might want to cover those guys in the future as well. And there's also some interesting thing about how Kellogg's might be funding the scene of male circumcision in America. Alright. Oh, you know, that's for a future episode. Today's episode is going to be about this fine specimen of a man known as Vsauce, or Michael Stevens, as goes by his legal name. Now, the thing is, everyone, love him or hate him, everyone loves him, really. How can you not like Michael Stevens? I've grown up on this beauty of a man. But there might be there might be something below the surface that you might not have known about him. And today, I've got a little bit of a theory that I really want to share with you guys, okay? So buckle up and welcome to the first episode of Mob Mentality. Yeah. And then it'll be the next scene now.
Oh, okay, so next scene.
So, I know a lot of you would know who Vsauce is, but for the uninformed, for those who are uneducated, fools and fucking cretins, let me just allow me to go through his history by reading his Wikipedia page for you. Vsauce, pronounced Vsauce, is a YouTube channel brand created by the internet celebrity Michael Stevens. The channels feature videos on scientific, psychological, mathematical and philosophical topics, as well as gaming, technology, popular culture and other general interesting subjects. Sounds like quite the funny fellow, man. My man. But who made Vsauce, you might ask? Well, that is none other than Michael Stevens, educator. He was born in 1986 in Kansas City, Missouri. But little might you know that he went to Stillwell in Kansas in 1991. Why would he move there, you might ask? Let's get back to that in a little bit of time, but I just want to go through a few other things. He graduated from Blue Valley High School, and then he graduated from the University of Chicago. Apparently it was better. And after that, as an undergraduate, he did video editing, and then he went onto YouTube, where he made a few things before he eventually made the channel we all know and love, Vsauce. 2010 to what? No, he didn't stop. Anyway, so he basically just made some Vsauce videos. Everyone came to love them. He became known for his videos talking about some weird topics like, are we real? Or where are your fingers? But I got a feeling, the reason I'm bringing this up is I must have something to bring to the table if I'm actually bothering to make a video about this. And there's something I really feel no one's actually talked about. No one's talked about the man behind the Vsauce. So today I want to talk about Vsauce, about Michael Stevens, not Vsauce. I want to talk about what's going through the mind of the creator. And now it's an epic transition. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but don't get it twisted, my dudes. I'm pretty fond of Vsauce myself, but there's a few little inconsistencies with his character that tipped me off to his true motivations. And I just want to reveal the first little slip up he made, which I think really set me on this path of realizing he's not all that's cracked up. He's more than first meets the eye. Okay, so just look at this. All right. Let's go on Google Translate, and we'll put English here, detect language here, Let's type in Vsauce. It detected Zulu. Oh, wait, zoom in on that. It detected Zulu. Now you might be saying, oh, Marco, it just like got the last language in the alphabet because Vsauce doesn't translate in any languages. Yeah, he'd like you to think that. He'd like you to think that because notice before I've ruined something here because I should have kept it on the Wikipedia page. Let's go back on his Wikipedia page, alright? Michael Stevens. I suppose. Anyway, remember when I told you he said the family relocated to Stillwell, Kansas in 1991? Now, I told you to remember that because, oh, there can't possibly be any Zulus in Stillwell, Kansas. Now let's look at this, yeah? Kansas Zulu Shooting Club. Look at this. Zulu Shooters Club home Facebook. There are Zulus setting up a militia in Stillwell, Kansas. And he just so happened to have relocated there. Alright, look at this. They literally say National African American Gun Association, Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. ZuluShootersClub@gmail.com. Now I tried messaging them, but of course they didn't want to like reveal any of like their true intentions because they're a nefarious, like they're a shooting club. But like I think this speaks volumes about what Michael Stevens really wants. So his family just randomly moves to Stillwell, Kansas. If I was moving, I wouldn't just think, oh, let's go to Stillwell, Kansas, necessarily. And there just so happened to be Zulus there, and his Google Translate, like, fucking pointed him out as being a Zulu. Do you think, like, that's way too much of a coincidence? There is something happening here. And I want to show you today what his actual intents and purposes are. So buckle up, and I want to go through 5 key traits of Vsauce that will reveal what he actually is. So here we are on Vsauce's homepage on YouTube, and the first thing you notice, oh shit, there's a free episode of his YouTube Red series. I'll be watching that later. But let's just go on to like, oh shit, there's tons of free episodes. Alright. But let's just watch like one random, like the first video he shows. Notice what he says right at the beginning of the video. Just pay attention to something. This is an advert. Really ruin the suspense. Listen.
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here.
Did you catch that?
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here.
He starts every single episode by saying, hey Vsauce, Michael here. But by saying hey Vsauce, he's talking to us as if we are Vsauce. But his channel's called Vsauce. So what's he saying? He's saying hey Vsauce, but yet he is Vsauce. He's saying we are all Vsauce and I am Vsauce as well. He's trying to say that he is just one of us. He's your ordinary, stereotypical human being. He is your average Joe. Now that's the first trait. I want you to keep that in mind. He's making himself out to be one of us, an average Joe. Keep that well in. Remember that, because we're going to come back to that at the end of the video. But there are 4 other traits that I want to show you. So what? He's trying to make it seem like he's one of us, but he's also going to try and infiltrate our countries by using his Zulu Shooter Club. Okay, people just do that, I guess. Oh, silly me. I've accidentally taken over the world with my Zulu militia. Oh, I hate it when that happens. People just do that. No, they don't. So I found this video called Vsauce Up Close and Personal, where basically Michael Stevens goes through the origins of Vsauce and why he founded it, why he started it. So I just want to go through it a little bit. Just go through the beginning of it, okay? Because there's something interesting here that just explains Vsauce's character. Alright.
Well, I was
Not as good as my intro.
So what if I just did my whole life?
I mean, if he did his whole life, Do me quite a favour, because I just went through his Wikipedia page, so do a better job than I did.
first started explaining things to myself out loud. I talk out loud to myself all the time. I distinctly remember being on a family vacation when I was in elementary school, and I was in the hotel room alone, and the bathroom had one of those, like, clean, sealed for your protection pieces of paper around it.
Alright, so he talks.
I said out loud,
It's awkward, I can't really talk.
That you feel like the toilet is cleaner. And I said this out loud as if there was an audience listening. I remember this moment because it was the first time I went, why am I doing this? I'm not talking to anybody. I think verbally expressing and explaining out loud was what gave me the ability to better understand things and appreciate them.
Alright, so basically he goes through and he just says he just needs to know everything. Every time he makes a video on Vsauce, he researches it for like a week beforehand to make sure everything's right. And he makes sure that he just knows everything. And this goes on with his latest, let's go here. With his YouTube Red series called Minefield, where he just talks about the human mind and its psychology. Now, it might just be because he's interested in it, but he said in that video that what interested him was like the mundane things. And the human mind, unless he's some sort of god, isn't really mundane. Whoa. He's not. Anyway, so like, why is he just suddenly really interested in understanding how humans think? Maybe it's because he wants to like exploit how humans, the psychology of humans. Every episode in his YouTube Red series, he does like an experiment to understand how humans would react in certain situations. How, like, if they're given a position of power, if they would abuse that. So you'd think as these episodes go on, he's trying to use the excuse of making it educational so people understand it. But I feel like he says he doesn't do a topic unless it's something that interests him. Something that he finds interesting, and he would research it again and again and again, and he gets experts and stuff. So you'd think he knows his shit by now about the mind of humans. So if there was anyone who would be best at manipulating people, it would be Vsauce. So you could say if it came to it, Vsauce would be one of the greatest manipulators on the planet. He would be a flamboyant, a manipulator. Also, another thing that I want to point out is he said that like he wants to understand everything. Even with, he made a speech in that video. He said he made a speech, an 8-minute speech about ketchup and all the different, like how the condiments work, the viscosity and how it would pour out of the can. And everyone said, he said people found it funny, and he seemed perplexed because to him it wasn't about humour. It was about gaining information, gaining power. This is something that a power junkie would do, trying to understand every little detail, trying to not let any detail, no stone unturned, no log unturned. I'm not wording my words well. So like, he's in every video, what he tries to do is just get these things, he gets as much as he can and tries to really just find everything out about it. Why would he do that? Is it just some quirk in his personality that makes him want to know everything? Or is it a much more severe quirk that makes him both an average Joe, a power junkie, and a manipulator? Plus a few more things. Let me just explain a few more. Another cute little thing about Vsauce is he's quite the womanizer. As you can see in this clip that I dug up from the depths of the anyway. Oh.
I've been feeling it all day.
I'll let you say it.
I know.
Oh, you speak. No.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Sure. Yeah.
No, you say it first.
No, come on. No.
Okay, I'll say it. 6,606.48.
Divided by 2. Anyway, as you can see, he's quite the superficial charmer. He's quite the the man for the ladies. Am I right? Am I right, Rebecca? Rebecca, am I right?
Oh, yeah.
He's a man of the people, really. He's quite the charmer. But he's not convincing me. I'm almost onto him. Now, here's the last piece of the puzzle. Let's go to How To Basics channel for his face reveal, where he revealed he was actually Michael Stevens all along. Let's just, let's ignore the whole rest of the video for the purposes of today's video, but, like, let's just focus on what Michael Stevens has to say on part of How To Basic and Vsauce.
My name is Michael Stevens. You may know me as the creator and host of Vsauce 1 on YouTube. On December 8th, 2011, I created the How To Basic YouTube channel. I created it as what I believe to be step one in an important human revolution. As I looked around at what technology was doing to us, I realized that we were offloading information and skills to machines.
Now notice, you know how in superhero movies, how the main villain would always do, like, the last speech? Like, because supervillains, they get, like, an emotional high off of telling other people their nefarious plan. And, like, here's Vsauce telling us everything that he's done, because he can't hide what he's been doing. And I know that it might be, some people might pull this off as being like a joke or something, but I can personally believe that someone who's admitted to really love hoarding information and stuff would do something like this. And furthermore, you must notice that something, with the information I already know, and that I'm going to reveal later, something that was incredible was the way that he brags about it. Kind of.
You no longer have to know how to fix a dented car, how to make an
I really hurt myself.
You could just Google it. The human mind was being replaced by machines. Once that replacement is finished, humanity's gone. I thought warning people would be enough, but then I realized it was too late. Only a revolution that tore down the infrastructure of technology in our world would be sufficient.
He can't help himself. He has to brag. He loves to do it. So he's a bragger. He just needs to reveal all of his plans and stuff. So we know that Vsauce is your average Joe, a power junkie, a manipulator, what else do I say? A superficial charmer, and an egotistical bragger. What could those traits possibly mean? What could they reveal about his character? Let's see here. On this website here. So he's a power junkie, a manipulator, an egotistical bragger, a superficial charmer, and your average Joe. These are all traits, if I close all these pop-ups, of a serial killer. This reveal might be a bit like, oh, weird, like, oh, of course he's a serial killer. You just plucked some random things and said them out of context. But I was just, like, saying stuff. I was just picking random stuff off the top of my head. I didn't want to, like, bore down this video with all the information that I picked up. So, like, if you really look at this, Power Junkie, he needs to know everything. He can't help but not reveal. Like, he can't help but, like, figure everything out, understand everything. In fact, in a video he made with iDubbbz, he said that he didn't know him, and he seemed almost scared, because for Vsauce, not knowing something is the worst thing that could possibly happen. Here, he's a manipulator. Of course he would. He would be one of the best manipulators in the world, because no one understands the human mind better than him. No one can exploit it as well as he could. If he wanted to manipulate people, and to think he's manipulated his whole audience into thinking he's not a manipulator. That's how good of a manipulator he is. There would be people out there who would truly know the makeup of his mind. An egotistical bragger, we've just explained it very well. A superficial charmer. Come on, how can you be more charming than Vsauce? Like, I swear he's like the dictionary, the Collins Oxford Dictionary definition of charmer, and an average Joe. He's saying we're all Vsauce, but he's Vsauce at the same time. He's trying to say he's one of us. So he's a serial killer. He's showing all the traits. And I'm not saying it definitely makes him a serial killer, but if he wasn't a serial killer, Here's a tweet he made. Or a tweet he didn't make. Wait, hold on a second, I fucked up here. Here it is. Just found this in my dad's basement. Is he some kind of animal Dexter? And if you click that link, you get this. Where his dad has blood from all these different types of animals just storing. And if you look here, could childhood abuse be a factor? Has found a link between serial killers and childhood abuse. So if his dad was some sort of, maybe not a serial killer, but some sort of crazed pet wrangler, how do you think Vsauce would have turned out? He revealed this. For sure they were some kind of pet serial killer. Whoa. They're just slides for microsodes. No, he's a serial killer, okay? So we revealed all of this. We know what Michael truly hides. Now all I have to do is reveal this for the world. The world must know. This is why I'm making this video. Alright? Wait, close it. Holy shit, I have to reveal this to the world. Everyone needs to know about this. What was that? What was that? There isn't even a door here. Where's that coming from? There's just some stairs. Who's down there? Right. Who's there? Jeepers creepers. I need to run. Wait, who's down there?
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. Eating your own boogers is...
It's him. Alright, what's gonna happen? What's happening here? Holy jeez, what am I gonna do? Oh my god, what am I gonna do? What could I possibly... Ow, I just hit my head. Where is it? Where is it?
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. Where are you moving?
Holy heck. Where are my fingers? Oh, I needed those. Vsauce, how did you know? How did you do that?
Every single year, in the United States alone, 1,000 people disappear and are never found again. Where do missing people go? How did they disappear?
No,
What
no.
made you disappear?
Vsauce, no. What's he gonna do to me? I need to get out. What's he gonna do?
And how do you know you haven't already disappeared? In many cases, missing persons are the victims of unsolved, unknown crimes. They may have suffered accidents or taken their own lives, and their bodies never found.
Vsauce,
Or they may be perfectly fine and have simply escaped their own life.
Vsauce, no. Vsauce, no. Vsauce, no. No. Oh. And stop.